So here we are, finally, Batman's debut. And it comes roughly halfway through the movie, similarly to how we are first introduced to Superman in Richard Donner's film, which we know that Christopher Nolan was heavily inspired by. The time code for this episode is 59 minutes and 44 seconds to 1 hour and 5 minutes and 52 seconds. And that's if you're following along with a digital copy. Flash rolls up at the docks here and he's like, "What is this? What is Flash doing here? Is he trolling these guys?"
He's low-key rage baiting, but they
Hmm.
don't really get angry. They get more scared.
I think he thinks he's making a joke, right? So he starts seriously and then he starts laughing and then he doesn't get the reaction he wants and then he becomes annoyed. He's like, "Continue."
I don't know. It's just kind of a weird scene in general.
We're told that the bears go to the dealers, the rabbits go to Crane.
Yeah.
And Flash asks what the difference is, and he doesn't receive an answer. It's above his pay
It
grade, basically.
Falcone responds with ignorance is bliss. You think Flash is stupid enough to not think that there's different drugs in them?
It was a rabbit that he ripped open a minute ago, and he pulled
Yeah.
out like that white bag of powder. So it looks just like a normal drug, doesn't it? It's not like it's like it's not like blue meth or something
Breaking Bad.
in Breaking Bad. Yeah, there's no like visual way of telling that like this is something different.
I guess so.
What I like about the way we're introduced to Batman here, it's like a horror movie, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It's like a slasher movie. You don't see the murderer, and he's like picking people off one by one. We're seeing it from the perspective of the criminals. It's quite a common trope, isn't it? Of,
Yeah.
someone investigating a noise and then they're just like dragged into an
I get
alley, into a closet, whatever, like it's a normal trope, but to have it applied to Batman is interesting because Batman is the monster to them.
yeah, I like it.
Three lights are taken out by one shuriken.
That's a little unrealistic, but I guess it's also Batman, so it doesn't.
Now, is it one or is it just the one we're seeing? The sound effect suggests it's one that does it because you just hear the three lights pop, right? Like boom, boom, boom. And then you hear the sound of one piece of metal falling to the ground,
Huh.
suggesting to me that it's like one of them's doing it. But I don't know how that's possible. Batman would have had to have thrown the shuriken from the far end of the alley. At this point, he is behind the criminals, and he must have thrown it in a straight line with it slicing through each of the three bulbs in successive order. But then immediately after the shuriken drops to the ground, we see that Batman is perched above them, hanging upside down.
So it doesn't make much sense. I'd have to draw it, but if it was like a boomerang, it'd follow a very weird path.
The light has a metal cover over the top of it, right? So the shuriken has to hit it from below.
Yeah,
So
man,
it's
I
the
actually might
shuriken defies the laws of physics.
maybe
It's like the
I'll have
magic bullet in that killed JFK, right? That like changed angle. And like the people say, like there must have been a second gunman on the grassy knoll, right? There must have been a second person throwing shurikens. Now we do have an Esper machine here, so why don't we put it to some use? Enhance 224 to 176. Stop. Move in. Stop. Pull out. Track right. Stop. Center in, pull back. Stop. Give me a hard copy. Right there. Oh my God. It's Alfred.
We have found you.
We're through the looking glass here, people. It all suddenly makes sense. Alfred Thaddeus Crane Pennyworth, former British Special Forces and intelligence expert, skilled in armed and unarmed combat. I do like that shot though of Batman hanging upside down like that as well, because that is literally our very first view of Batman in this movie, in this trilogy.
I love it. I like the slow build to seeing Batman. It's fun.
I like that we're seeing him in his most bat-like pose as well, hanging up there like a bat.
I like it.
It's a very
It's a
cool
good,
way of introducing Batman.
nice shot.
Batman starts to take out these guys now, right? One by one. And they're all starting to panic because they can hear it and people are firing guns off and things. And Batman's still moving stealthily, but everyone's aware that something's out there taking them out, right? But they're not sure what. So Flash comes back to Falcone, who's waiting in the car, and he tells him that he needs to bail. So, of course, Falcone does what anyone in his situation would do, and that is he gets out of his car and he goes to investigate the sounds of gunfire and disturbance.
Yeah.
Again, the movie trope, right, of just going towards the danger instead of just
Yeah,
leaving.
like how stupid can these people be?
We get this sort of really quick, abrupt cuts of Batman fighting these guys here, and you don't really see Batman. Can't really get a clear look at what's going on. This is what Falcone sees. He just sees these quick flashes of Batman fighting these guys, and he doesn't quite know what he's seeing. Now, some people back in the day, Koob, complained about this scene, believe it or not.
Did they?
They
Would they complain about?
they didn't like the fact that it was done in such quick cuts that you couldn't
Huh.
appreciate the fight. A lot of the fans that watched the movie, they were like, I don't want to experience it from that perspective. I want to experience it from my perspective as a cinema goer. I want to appreciate the fight. I want to step back from it and I want to see it. So I want to see all the action in beautiful detail.
What did you feel when you first saw this? Did you like it or did you dislike it?
I liked it and I felt it added to the excitement because as a fan, I want to see Batman. And the fact that they're still not showing me Batman, they're still teasing me Batman. It just added to my excitement of seeing more of him. And the fact that we do get more Batman later on made it okay, you know. If this was the only action of Batman we got in the whole movie, then I would be disappointed, you know. I feel like you get the best of both worlds by doing it this way and then another way later. The action itself is telling a story.
It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
so awesome. I really like it.
You see this shot here where you could sort of see this crease. You see it like on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this because it's showing that what Bruce Wayne is wearing here is very thin, like a wetsuit, rather than like a piece of armor.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate, that's been captured on film like that. And
Is it like that in all the other movies? Like, is that
no,
something you
no,
can visibly see in the other movies?
not really, no, because I think with this movie they made the material much more thinner so that Bale could have more maneuverability. But
Okay.
it does tend to lead to this sort of bunching and bulging on the material at different times like that. It sort of destroys this idea that you're seeing armor. And then sometimes he'll have a double chin thing going because of because unfortunately
Yeah.
because of the cowl. Like you can't see it here, fortunately, because it's so dark and so much shadow. It mercifully covers it. There are places in the movie where it looks like a roll of belly fat, but it's just where the rubber sort of folds over when he's crouched. But this is interesting.
This is the guy that got the coat.
Yeah.
This was the guy that Bruce traded coats with.
Let's talk about the actor first of all. His name is Rajesh Sabegia. This guy is internationally known mainly for his role as Boris the Blade in Snatch.
Oh, that's who this is. I recently watched Snatch like a month ago.
He's also had supporting roles in The Saint. That was the Val Kilmer movie version of an old TV show.
No, I haven't seen it.
I think actually Val Kilmer chose to do The Saint rather than come back to do Batman and Robin.
Interesting.
But this guy was also in Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick's last movie. He was
Uh,
in Mission Impossible 2. I
haven't seen
think
that
he
one.
played
I know
I
it's
think he played like a scientist in that one.
oh fun.
He was in X-Men First Class. He was in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 in 2010
Yeah,
and Taken 2 in 2012. And he also had a reoccurring role as former Soviet Army General Dmitry Gridenko in season 6 of 24.
haven't seen it. Have you?
I have, yes. Yeah, I did used to watch it back in the day.
Yeah.
He's a four-time recipient of the Golden Arena for Best Actor,
Wow.
Croatia's highest filmmaking honors. He
Damn.
won the Critics Award for Best Actor at the 51st Venice International Film Festival for his performance in Before the Rain. That was in 1994.
Yeah. I found this guy was asked to cameo in The Dark Knight, but declined.
Really?
Yeah, he was. I was reading about it. He was asked to like cameo in it, but I guess he just didn't want to. I guess he didn't
Oh,
want to.
I wonder
Imagine what
where
we
he.
could.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I'll have to think about that later, like where he could have popped up. I never heard that before. That's interesting that he was asked to come back. Here's the thing about this scene, though. This guy is hearing all of this gunfire going on. There's people firing off automatic weapons right at his location, and he is totally chill. He's just leaning against that wall there, eating a tin of tuna or whatever it is he's got. You'd think hearing the gunfire going off and everything, the guy would have just took off, right?
So nonchalant. He probably just thinks like average day in Gotham. Like,
He's probably completely numb to the awful things that he comes across all the time. Here's another thing that I find a bit weird is Batman says to him, "Nice coat." And the guy's like, "Thanks."
that's in line with like the Bat credit card.
Does that line belong in this movie?
It's a little odd, but something I would have more expected to see in like the
Yes.
Schumacher movies compared to like a Nolan movie.
Batman nuts Falcone. He looks up, he sees the homeless man. The homeless man looks at him and he just silently takes off. That's how I feel like this should have played out.
Yeah, it definitely feels like such a Schumacher kind of thing. We don't see that in any of the other Nolan movies.
And does this undermine the scene a little bit? You know, we've just had this really cool, like badass, like moment where Batman's totally dominated the criminals. They are absolutely terrified. He's taken them all out. And then he says this line. Doesn't it feel sort of, by today's standards, we say it's like Marvel? You know, it's like, it's the thing everyone complains about the Marvel movies. You know, they have these moments of drama of seriousness, and then they undercut it with a line, a jokey quip, you know, and everyone now complains about that. But here's Batman doing it.
Yeah, it is very interesting, but I'll excuse it in this moment because it's really the only moment I can think in the Nolan verse of this happening.
Just off the top of my head, what about that scene in The Dark Knight Rises when Catwoman disappears on top of that rooftop, leaving Batman alone? And he says to himself, So that's what that feels like. That's a little weird, right? That he's talking to himself, and it is a jokey quip, you know? It feels a little out of place. I don't think Batman would actually A, talk to himself out loud, and B, make jokes. I just think when Bruce Wayne is Batman, he's very serious all the time, all the time.
It's like, why did you say that? Like in Marvel's case, it'll be like someone has just died. Like someone has just suffered the most brutal death of all time.
Mm,
And they'll be like, Mondays, am I right?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's not as egregious as like a Marvel film.
yeah.
Agreed, totally agreed. I don't think we see this homeless man again in this movie.
And
Or,
we
but
never see him again, actually. He's,
yeah, I think what a better scene would have been is Bruce Wayne is acting like the playboy, right? It would be cool if he comes across him at that point then, and then he just hands the guy some money,
yeah,
or offers to help him in some way. Something like that. Something like that, where he's doing it as Bruce Wayne, I think would fit better as well.
yeah, and I know what you mean.
Because there are places of levity in this movie, and it's fitting to have the jokes. Like earlier, Bruce Wayne's in the cave with Alfred, and he's saying to Alfred, like, come up here, come and have a look at this. And he's like, well, I'm okay where I am down here, thanks very much. Like, that's funny, but it's fitting, and it fits the character, and it belongs. So that there's lots of places of humor in this movie, and they belong, but I don't think it belongs in this scene.
Yeah,
We don't get any lenses here for Batman. In a comic, Batman's cowl has lenses, so it's all whited out, and we've never had that really in the films. It's a thing that fans have sort of gone back and forward over the years about it. Like, should Batman have lenses in the cowl? Would it look cool, or would it be better not to have them? And I'm of the opinion it's better not to have them because it's you look at this picture here, like with Bao in his eyes, you're getting so much from seeing his eyes there that if it was lenses, you just don't get that.
yeah.
And especially when you think of Robert Pattinson as Batman, like the so much is in that guy's eyes when he's wearing the cowl. You would lose all that if it was lenses. So I feel like for a movie, it's better not to have the lenses.
Agreed.
Something that was different about this movie, which is different to all the other Batman movies, is his cape is fabric. Whereas in the other movies, his cape is made of the same sort of rubber material as the rest of the suit. And so it all
Yeah.
seems of a piece. But in this, it's not. It's like a very different fabric. And narratively, we're given the reason why and stuff. How do you feel that that works visually?
I feel like I'm biased when you ask me questions about this suit because this is like the Batman that like the Batman movies that were coming out when I was a kid. So it's like seeing these, I'm like, oh, I love this bat suit. What do you think?
At the time, it seemed a little odd. It felt a little cheap. As a kid, you play as a superhero and you tie a sheet round your neck or something and you pretend like that's your cape.
I
That's the
still do that.
feeling I got when I first saw this. It didn't seem to quite fit because I was so used to the Burton and the Schumacher movies, like doing it that specific way that when someone does something different, it felt so jarring. It's like when me and
Yeah.
Shenmue talked about the Tumblr in the last episode, like we had the same sort of issue with that. Just trying to like get over the fact that this film was so different in that way.
Maybe that's why I just don't care as much.
This being your first Batman, you just didn't think anything of it. You was like, well, that's just Batman. You had
Yeah.
nothing to compare it against. Like with the Tumblr, as the years have gone on, I've just accepted it and I'm okay with it. But it just seemed a little weird at the time.
Yeah.
What do you think about the styling on the cowl? This expression that he has.
Just like
This,
angry expression. I mean, I'm just gonna say I'm biased to this suit, so I like it. What do you think?
I like it. I noticed with this one, the ears are set towards the back of the head, whereas like if you look at the other movies, like the Burton ones, the ears are more in the middle, so they come up directly from where Keaton's actual ears would be. It's interesting that he does look sort of more angry because it's showing like
Yeah.
a sort of furrowed brow. I think that's a good thing, actually. I wonder what it would look like if you went even further with that. How far can you push it to make him seem as scary as possible, just with the detailing on the cowl? Because I feel like that's something that Batman would want to do, right? Because he is trying to scare the criminals. His neck's very thick in this one as well, isn't it?
That's a huge neck. Damn.
How is this happening, Coop?
Where is he going? There's
Because
nothing above him.
it's
That
possible there's another crane nearby, right?
in the world of Batman, there are so many cranes everywhere. I mean, there's even a doctor.
How is he rising up like that?
Feels like it's just a wire lifting him. He doesn't shoot a
But
grapple
where,
gun.
in the context of the story, he's got to have a grapple gun, right?
Yeah.
There was no time there to fire the gun.
Batman can fly now.
There is a scene later in this movie when Batman ends up in an alley, right? And he needs to get out of there quick. And he takes his grapple gun and he fires it up to the top of this roof. And then he wraps part of the wire around a part of his belt, on the front of his belt, and it hooks it on, and then that winches him up. So when Batman's normally using his gun, he will connect it to his belt. So the belt is taking the weight. But in this scene, even though we don't see him pull the grapple or fire the grapple, when he does rise up, we don't even see the wire coming from the front of the belt. It just plays supernatural, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe we can say we're seeing it from the perspective of the homeless man.
Yeah.
It's like we're witnessing this through his eyes. Do you think?
Yeah, I guess.
Because memory messes with things, right? When you're recording events.
Yes, so.
So the only way you can explain it is that you're seeing uh, essentially faulty memories of the people that was involved in the events of this night. Like that their memory recall is faulty.
Yeah. I guess that's how we can explain most of the things that maybe don't make sense is we're seeing it from the vision of someone recalling the events.
Between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, they did these animated shorts and they were sort of tie-ins to that movie. They did a DVD. I think it was called Gotham Knights.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And one of the episodes, it was like these kids, and they were talking about the time they saw Batman, and they each told a story, and it was greatly exaggerated, and their memory recall was wonky as well. You know, because one of the kids describing this giant vampire-like creature and things like, like another one was describing Batman as literally being able to fly. Flash got away, Koob. You notice
Shucks.
that? He's the only guy
Yeah.
that got
Yeah.
away. He
Yeah,
took his own advice and he bailed.
you love this monorail, don't you?
I do. I want to ride this monorail. I
That
like
looks
trains in general.
a train enthusiast.
No, I like trains, I like going on trains. I don't know why. I can't even tell you why, but I do like trains. But this monorail is so cool to me.
The cars look like the actual Chicago subway system. If you look inside, I'm pretty sure that's the red line.
They based it off of it then because this is all created for the movie.
They look just super similar. Gotham's based off of Chicago, right? In this uh
Yeah, so what I think
adaptation.
what they done is they took a plate, they call it a plate, which is like an aerial shot of Chicago, and then they'll use CG, or it might even be a composite of a model.
Okay.
Inside the car with Rachel, you can see how bad it's become now since Bruce took a trip with his parents.
Now it's just an average subway car.
I guess with this. William Earl, who's running Wayne Enterprises now, he just couldn't care less, right? He's just letting it all run down, and he probably would like to just scrap it. There's no investment going into maintaining these things, probably. It's just like the minimum.
Would you ride the Gotham monorail?
Not in the evening on my own like Rachel is doing.
It's funny that it's based off the Chicago subway because that's what people say about the Chicago subway too. Is like you don't want to be on that at night.
So we got here the elevated train infrastructure set, I guess we'd call it.
Yeah.
And this was built inside the Cardington shed, which is in Bedfordshire in England. And me and Shenmue talked about this. Shenmue thought that the cave was a real cave that they filmed in, but it was a set.
Oh yeah.
And that cave and this platform here and the entirety of the Narrows was all built inside this enormous cavernous structure. It was bigger than any set that you could find basically anywhere else. I don't know if it's still the biggest, but then it certainly was. It was absolutely enormous, 800 feet long.
Oh wow. It's a
They
lot to work with.
they imported American cars and they had them driving up and down and around the streets they built whole streets inside like as part of this set. And it
Oh
was
wow.
so that meant they could film all these night scenes anytime they want because it's all controlled. It's all inside a building.
This is very good sets. All of the sets have been very good. You know, they took Shenmue in with the cave.
The
Oh,
hangar was 200 feet high
wow.
with 800 feet long, 200 feet high. That meant it was large enough to house its own atmosphere, which
Wow.
it was famously reported that clouds would sometimes form near the ceiling. This guy stops her going down, and then she swings round and hits this guy in the face there with her
With a
bag.
yeah, with her purse.
And then
I think
she believes that that is enough to stop this guy.
yeah, I
So
was gonna
she's
say
hit him
I
in the
was, yeah.
face, and she thinks he's out of action now. I can now deal with the guy in front, right? But if you look, he immediately recovers, and he's
Yeah.
he's about to attack her from behind, but Batman intervenes and stops him. So
What's
if
funny is
Batman wasn't there, he would now have grabbed her.
yeah, what's funny is I was actually gonna bring that up. I was gonna be like she that's not enough to like take someone out of action.
And she actually believes that this guy ran off as well. The guy that
Yeah.
from the front that came up the steps. She thinks that she scared him off with a taser without any thought. What's the guy behind me doing right now? Like it's just not there. Quite she's quite pleased with herself.
There's no way she can't like hear Batman behind her too. Like
Yeah,
doing
like
this.
Batman is punching this guy in the face, and the guy's like been punched to the ground. We can't hear it because they've dropped the sound out right. But in reality, she'd be hearing all this going on behind her. Like, there's no way that would be silent.
Yeah. She did it. She stopped him with her purse and a taser.
Yeah. Now, what do you think of Katie Holmes's acting in this scene?
It's a little goofy. I don't
Like
think
the bit where she's like, "That's right, you better run." Like, I'm just like, I don't know.
yeah.
Like, she turns around and she sees Batman. Like her expression, it's a bit
Yeah.
much. And I think as well the way they edit, the way she speaks back and forth with Batman, it's like she's like, "Why? When? How?" Like, and it's not the best. When I watched this, I thought to myself, are tasers legal in America?
Yeah.
In the UK, they are not legal.
Oh.
Then I looked up, well, what about mace? Again,
That's
mace is legal in
yeah.
America, but it's not legal in the UK.
Interesting.
So
And
then
do
I
you
thought, well, how does a woman protect herself in the UK from muggers and potential rapists? The answer is she can't. She's not allowed to carry anything to protect her.
what?
Maybe she could carry like an alarm thing that she could like press a button and it would like emit a loud alarm.
What's the reasoning behind these being not allowed? Is it because they're considered like weapons of violence? Is that why they're not allowed?
Yeah, basically.
Damn. Are your
Yeah.
police allowed to carry those or?
I think only certain police are allowed to have a taser,
Damn.
and they've had to have special training to use them, I think.
What?
Yeah.
That's standard issue stuff for a cop here.
So the problem is, if a police officer runs into some kind of trouble here with someone, and that person has a weapon of some kind, the police officer is completely ill-equipped to deal with it.
Crazy.
I like how the taser just sparks off of the bat suit there. Just doesn't
Yeah.
do anything to Batman.
Shows how effective his suit is.
Now, around the time this movie came out, there was a talk show in America. I think it was Late Night with Conan O'Brien. And they did this skit where every time Batman would talk about rattling the cages, they would cut away to Batman shaking and rattling these cages with live rabbits inside. And it has ruined this part of the movie for me ever since because every time I watch this scene in a movie, I can't help but think about this comedy skit.
Falcone sent them to kill you.
Why?
You rattled his cage.
What?
Who are you?
Someone like you. Someone who'll rattle the cages.
Wish you hadn't shown this to me.
Yeah, I'm ruining it for you as well now.
It's so stupid.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
is.
funny. It's
It
not it's
is
not
stupid.
funny.
Yeah, it didn't make me laugh when I saw it, but all it's done is ruin the scene for the movie because I cannot help but think of this scene 20 years later every time I watch the movie.
Thank you. Thanks, dude.
Christian Bale hated this batsuit. He hated wearing it. He said it gave him constant headaches
I,
and it left him in a foul mood, like perpetually. It just left him feeling angry all the time. And it's interesting because you hear the different actors all the way up to Ben Affleck, always complaining about their bat suits, and they have different complaints. You know, Michael Keaton hurt his hip. Val Kilmer said he felt like a geriatric in it. He couldn't see, hear, or move properly, and so he said this must be what it feels like to be old. Ben Affleck complained about his suit. The only one that hasn't complained is Robert Pattinson because they finally made a suit that Robert Pattinson is happy to wear and can wear it all day and doesn't even no, he doesn't need to take it off. He doesn't even want to take it off. He's just happy to keep wearing it. But back with Batman Begins, it was still a rubber suit. And despite doing their best with the rubber, there's only so much they can do. And so Christian Bale's issue was just the headaches it would keep giving him. A comment that Christian Bale made at the time was turned into a t-shirt by the wardrobe department. And it said, "It's hot, dark, and sweaty, and it gives me a headache." And they would walk around the set wearing these t-shirts, quoting Bale as a joke.
this is rage bait. Did he get mad? Like, did he find it funny?
I don't know. What do you think of Christian Bale's voice as Batman in this movie? Not the others, just this one.
It's okay. It's not too bad. I don't know. What do you think?
I like his voice in this movie. It's a good voice. He sounds like Batman.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was altered, really. I've heard that with the sequels, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Nolan altered the voice afterwards in post. Um,
Interesting.
I don't know if that's true. It's definitely a different Batman voice in the sequels. It's kind of like a meme. People have compared
It
it to
it's
like
like
the Cookie
super.
Monster or
Yeah,
something.
I was gonna say it's like super gravelly and all that.
Yeah, but it sounds like to me it sounds like really put on, like sort of it's distract to me personally, it's distractingly bad at points. And I don't know if that was Bale with that decision or whether he was told to do it by Nolan or whether Nolan ordered it in post or it's a combination, but I don't I'm not a fan of it at many points in the sequels, and there are points where it's really quite bad. Disappearing Batman, classic.
Keeps it mysterious.
Gordon at the docks now.
Yeah.
The origin of the bat signal in this movie. This is the first time we see the bat signal in the comics.
What is this, like the 60s?
It's Detective Comics issue number 60, February 1942.
Oh, wow. We've got business to attend to, Dick.
The bat signal doesn't really work in reality, though, unfortunately. The light from a searchlight needs a surface to reflect against.
Yeah.
Even if you had very, very low hanging clouds, it's not going to do it. If you had halogen, like a halogen bulb, that produces sort of 1500 lumens. A xenon would give you between 3000 and 5000 lumens,
Okay.
neither of which are anywhere near what you would need. And a halogen bulb gets extremely hot as well, and would, in reality, it would probably burn Falcone, who's tied to the searchlight.
Yeah.
In this movie, we would have to say it's a xenon bulb, but again, it wouldn't be able to reach those clouds like it does in this film. You can make a bat signal, but you wouldn't be able to. The idea that you could use a spotlight from something that you would find at the docks here or the one you see in the movie is not really possible, right? But you could make one if you custom made it. So you would need an industrial grade spotlight with an incredibly bright high lumen range, like 100,000 lumens,
Oh, wow.
and a specialized lens. And you would need ideal conditions. So it would probably only work on a foggy night, and you'd need low clouds. And then you could just about get it to work. You're not going
Yeah.
to be able to do like what Gordon did in this movie and just like take an existing spotlight and just slap a stenciled logo on there and it's going to work. Or what Batman does here at the docks. That is not going to work. So that means then, Koob, that the bat signal that we see in Batman 1989 is more realistic than the one we see in this movie.
Okay.
Since in that movie it is a specialized version designed and built by Bruce Wayne for that very purpose. So it's interesting, isn't it? Like for a movie that purports to be more like grounded and realistic, in this one area, Batman 89 is somehow more realistic. Our last scene of the episode, we get this really cool panning shot of Batman standing on the corner of that building there in Chicago, surveying his city.
Those are sorry, I just noticed in the background those hotel towers. Those are the hotel towers from Wilco's Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. It's a good album. Cool shot as well.
Nolan
Yeah.
was interested in what comic book readers considered iconic imagery for Batman, and this was one of them. And do you notice that Batman's cape here is impossibly long?
That's very long. He would be tripping over himself.
But it looks cool though.
Does look
Like the other Batman movies, they create different lengths of cape to fulfill different requirements in the scene. So I remember like Keaton's cape for the first film. I think they had like five or six different length capes. Like they had a running cape and a fighting cape and a cape just to look cool, like when he would spread it out,
yeah.
so it always maintains maximum cool factor. This long cape here, this reminds me of something like Spawn. When Todd McFarlane would draw Batman, he used to draw Batman with these impossibly long capes as well. Right, so we just need a little outro, Koob. You should play a little tune on your guitar. That's what we need. This show needs a theme tune.
This guitar is probably so out of tune. Let's see how out of tune. I don't even know if my mic will pick it up. Did you hear that?
No, didn't pick it up. We'll just have to imagine the fire. Have you
You,
enjoyed this episode, Koob?
I did enjoy this episode. Great discussion to come out of it. I'll be back for next episode, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, see you then.
See ya.